If you want to know the best crafts to sell on Etsy right now, one of the best places to look is actually Etsy, what they're telling us. Because at the end of the day, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. When Etsy says something's going to become trending, Etsy then takes any listings that it finds that live up to that trends and pushes them on its social media. So it's really important to know what Etsy is talking about if you want to jump on trends before they happen. So if this is something you're interested in, I have some more in-depth videos that you guys seem to be loving, which I will link. I'll link at the end of this video, and I'll link in the comments down below. You want to check them out, where I went in depth with this, looking at not just what Etsy is saying, but what I'm finding in tools and what places like Hobbycraft are predicting, to do a full in-depth guide. But I just wanted to dig into the transcript of a podcast that Etsy just recently done, which kind of confirms some of the things that we were expecting for spring and summer, but well, summer now. But so let's see what Etsy is telling us are going to be big in summer. Let's see how it compares to what they told us a little earlier and what we've been looking at, and think about, obviously not everything you make can fit into these categories, and not everyone wants to jump on the trends, but there are sometimes, if you know a certain kind of style is in trend, if you could photograph your item in a way that showcases that makes it sound like it fits into that style, you've still got a chance of being seen. So let us go and have a look at what Etsy is saying here. So this is the podcast transcript of the Etsy's hottest summer trends. And even they're saying how to incorporate the latest styles, patterns, and motifs into your business to help reach more shoppers this season. It's worth being aware of, even if we kind of ignore it slightly. Okay, so this was taken from, this is transcript of a podcast episode released in May. I'm a little bit behind the curve. It's been edited slightly. So it's an interview between a couple of people on Etsy. So Diana is the resident trend expert and she's being interviewed. So let's talk about what's coming up this summer. With temperatures rising in a lot of places and vaccine rollout underway, do you have a sense of how people will be shopping as things start to open up a bit more? And as they're saying, very much things are opening up. Shops are opening up. People are going into shops. So we are seeing a dip in sales, as you do most summers apart from last year, which was weird. So if you're seeing a big dip in sales, this is why. But it doesn't mean summer has to be totally dead for you. If you can understand the trends, that can sometimes help. So, I should read on before I jump into things. Yes, it feels like we're doing a slow return to normal. So there's going to be a huge focus on the outdoors. Dressing up, we're going to have a more positive attitude. I think that's really important. The Etsy had a colour of the year for this year, and it's sky blue, to just be positive and forward looking and outside, really. We're excited. It's a time to get refreshed and energized. One of the biggest trends I spoke about when we last chatted is the Norwegian concept of, I'm going to mess this up so much. I don't know. It's about spending as much time outside possible, but keeping all the comforts of indoors with you. So I actually did Google image search for this to see what they're meaning, and literally the pictures are just hiking outdoors, tents, but it's a lot of space, uplifting stuff. So, should I have taken, when I went to Loch Lomond, I went to the Highlands for a couple of weeks. Should I have taken my little sculptures? And I totally should have photographed them in a beautiful forest location or something. So there's kind of ideas. But also, what other things? Well, hats and stuff. Look here, people are still dressing up warm. Hammocks, outside spaces, outside furniture. Does that not look gorgeous? You've got fuzzy, comfy wicker chairs, a fire on a tripod. I would so spill that, with a beautiful view. That looks awesome. And I think this is going to come in with a fairy core here as well. So little children out in the woods kind of thing. Hey, hiking, cups that you can take out hiking with you. Outside sports, that looks like fishing or something. But yes, so think of the outdoors. That is interesting to start with. Um, it's about spending as much time outside as possible, but keeping the comforts of indoor with you. So think how you can make some of your things, if you need to make them takeaway. If you make ornamental things, can you make some stuff for the outside space as well? Outside, even like pictures, if you can print them on like weatherproof metal or wood or stuff, people love that. Okay, tell me more about this focus on outside spaces and being outside. It's all about creating a beautiful outdoor oasis because we're starting a little bit more comfortable socializing. Absolutely. Wouldn't it be cool to have a patio area? I've been seeing a lot of my friends inviting people over, having little garden parties. Anything to help people savor that fresh air and sunshine. And if you feel comfortable, potentially entertaining some guests. Absolutely. So last year was all about nesting, making your indoor space great and also making your background and everything look cool. But now, if people are inviting people to their gardens, make it look cool. Inviting bird life in. So this is cool. Cool DIY bird feeders, bird houses, and DIY kits are still on fire. People are still wanting to be creative. Yeah, kits are still huge. So don't run away from that trend. Pallet furniture. So lots of people are taking inspiration from pallet forms, big boxes and things, creating a version and turning it into beautiful furniture. Yeah, I've seen a few of my friends as well making awesome pallet furniture. You can get like the big cushions to put on top of it and just design it round your space. Which probably means the pallets are going to start to become expensive. But not only, right, it would be, if you're shipping worldwide, pallet furniture, that's going to be too expensive. However, tutorials on how to make pallet furniture, selling PDFs of not really patterns, but DIY guides for how to make this stuff. Yeah, you can also, little bit of Amazon affiliate marketing. You could link to places on Amazon that are selling the cushions to go on the pallet furniture. Patio umbrellas are rising in popularity. Wow, Etsy's seeing a 324% increase in outdoor umbrellas. So yeah, if that's if that's something you can make, or if you're doing print on demand, do your companies allow personalized umbrellas? That would be kind of cool. We do know Etsy is the place for personalized. Mud kitchens. Yeah, I said this in my spring and summer trends video. I was walking in the woods one time and I found all sorts of kitchen stuff and I totally freaked out because I didn't know the mud kitchens was a thing. But a local play group has the kids out there in the forest with their little tiny play kitchen stuff. It is really cute. Yeah, it's a separate space for a kid, kind of like those old school kitchen sets. That is it. But it's outside, and yeah, they can get really muddy as well. Um, Summer months are typically popular for weddings, and yeah, I think a lot of people had to cancel their weddings last year or have very small weddings, so they might be looking for celebrations. So they're starting to see more articles about couples getting married or celebrating 1 year anniversaries. Well, yeah, if your friends couldn't come and you couldn't have a party, let's have a big one this year. I do have a friend whose wedding was cancelled for last year, and we're not kids anymore. She's living with her fiance. They don't have to get married, so she's decided she's going to hold off and make sure that this wedding is like the biggest party ever, where just all of her friends can get together, which sounds awesome. There's no hurry to do it, but when she does it, it's going to be cool. So people are looking at that major celebration this year. Then there are the people who took their time and want to plan that wedding they've always dreamed about. Obviously, as more people are getting vaccinated and the weathers are getting better, restrictions are being eased, but guys, be careful. There will be more outdoor weddings. Really sparkling excitement for the return of weddings, very much. So everyone who's doing the stationery, everyone who's doing everything that can help for the weddings. A few years ago, people started buying some of my dog sculptures to be like ring bearers, wedding favors, all sorts of things. So can your stuff be used in weddings? Now, it's a hard market to target if you're not already in it, but you just never know. Finding the right keywords, you might just be able to sneak in there. Um, What's different about this year is the size of the celebration. It's going to be scaled down, put more attention onto things like favors. Yeah, quite a lot. This could be smaller gatherings, but more thoughtful and spending more time and hopefully more money on every individual thing. So the invites, you've got to make less of them, but they could be better quality, better, cooler, fancier. And think how that ties into the other trends as well. The cottage core, I believe, still a big thing. The fairy core, the outside in and stuff. So think about that when making designs for like invites and things. And you're going to see items centered around safety and personalized, extra detail with a smaller guest list. I mean, yeah, daft things you could do, bridesmaid set of face masks, all things like that. So everybody's matching, a bit of fun. Decorated hand sanitizer bottles, so you can have hand sanitizers on the I really should read ahead. Think about items like personalized hand sanitizers, coordinating masks. I didn't read this, and they even have a special hashtag. I didn't read ahead. I was just look at me predicting. Something that's really going to bring everything together and encourage excitement about having everyone all in one place, but keeping safety top of mind. Mr. and Mrs. coordinating masks. That's an awesome idea. You could like say cheeky things across the front and everything. Um, Smaller guest list, we can title it a micromony instead of a ceremony. They're scaling down to a much smaller invite list. They're blowing out the experience for that smaller list to just their friends and family. Couples are considering using their home as a venue, have a very sentimental backdrop. Okay, so again, not big wedding planners, not big venues, so they want to make their home nice. What things can you do? Little bits of garden decor and house decor to just make things a little bit nicer. So yeah, last year there was all the change the date cards. Now people are celebrating having weddings. We're seeing worth the wait merchandise, which is sweet because it's allowing couples to be happy and celebrate, and say why it was worth the wait. That's really cool. The last trend for weddings is statement displays. So scaling down but having it at home. So they have a bigger budget to spend on things. So blow out that backdrop, a neon sign over the top balloon arch. Okay, yeah. So if you're having it at home, yeah, people are going to go overboard with something a bit crazy. So what I love that idea, like a neon sign. Yeah, you can totally see if people have a reasonable sized garden, it's going to be crazy flowered everywhere. So people be refreshing their out of the house looks? Yeah, let's start with accessories and jewelry. I know we've got a lot of jewelry sellers that watch. Accessories is so glamorous. Headscarves have been popping up and it's hot on social media. That is good to know. Allowing you to feel more glamorous and fashionable during this time. And I bet, right, people haven't dyed their hair in a long time, not necessarily having the most haircuts. People have cut down the amount of doing these things. So if for that couple of weeks you're eking out your hair dye job a little bit longer or something, or your hair's fried from a year of not really looking after it. Beautiful headscarf that people can wrap their hair up and kind of hide it for a couple of weeks while they're trying to get it back into looking good. But also absolutely little glamorousness. We can all think back to the films where the glamorous women had their headscarf and stuff. Oh, and the cat eye sunglasses. Yeah, we can all picture that totally, can't we? shoppers are wanting to feel like they're making a statement and feel more jazzed up than they have in the past. Who else does that? Like, even for the past year, any face masks I've been buying, don't just buy normal black ones, you buy cool ones. I put lipstick on to go under a face mask. Seriously, why? But I'm seeing people a lot less, so I'm making an effort when I see people. The next thing is statement earrings. People are still learning to work from home, so everything you can see, this area is the most important. I am not wearing my pajama bottoms just now, completely not at all. So squiggle shapes, yeah, squiggles was mentioned last time. Drop earrings, so teardrops, long linear shapes, sizable studs for those who are not into being huge. So it just means that the studs are getting a little bit bigger. That's cool. So yeah. And I am seeing quite advertised a lot of the fun earrings still. That lesbian earrings is still a term. But also, you know, things like I had these earrings years ago, like an animal going like round your ear or something, just something a bit cute. And still I have seen a lot of like asymmetric, so you could have a pair of earrings but that are different lengths and stuff. That's really cool as well. Oh, exciting one, 2-in-1 earrings. I haven't heard this. So you could remove the longer pieces and allow yourself just to wear the stud. That is awesome. Yeah, so you could have a kind of design that's a stud that you could have different drop down things, so it could be like mix and match. That is so fun. Yeah, so jewelry makers, think of things like that. Yeah, mix and match earrings. Brilliant. So so you can have like 4 looks out of 1 set of earrings. Statement rings really have a moment. Wow, a new thing or a semi-new thing is a fidget ring. That's a great idea because I'm always fidgeting with my hands. I don't wear much jewelry, but I remember like occasionally when I did, I would always be playing with the ring. So something that you can actually play with, a real fidget ring. That's cool. A double band ring where one spins over the second top. Yeah, that's great. Just something that moves that you can play with. Great idea. Obviously, make sure they're built to last, or they're not like don't be making that in 24 karat gold or something. Fun, funky ones. The other statement rings are taking over almost the full finger. I've seen more than that. I've seen like statement rings that are they're knuckle dusters, aren't they? Um, shoppers are embracing these maximalist rings right now as the new statement pieces. We've seen searches for chunky rings up. Well, that's nearly 500%. Shoppers are interested in the new style and very excited to get back into the world and show off their personal style. Absolutely. Yeah. Rather than, I think we did have a trend for quite a while of the boho thing of layering up jewelry and stuff. I know very little about fashion, but layering up things. And now it's one smack you in the face piece. So big ring or big earrings or big necklace. Oh, wow, now I'm feeling old reading ahead here. Then there's the 90s and the early 2000s is back in a major way. Y2k jewelry, so it's an early 2000 resurgence. Goodness me, that's a huge jump in searches for smiley face jewelry. So the whole acid time. This is a big alert for vintage and handmade sellers. Yeah, what check copyrights of what you can actually do there, but yeah, consider adding in smiley face jewelry because shoppers are loving it. Other things, daisy jewelry. We mentioned daisy in the last thing. Mood jewelry. I'm assuming that's the color changing stuff, which was again like the 80s and stuff, and probably before. And butterfly jewelry, butterfly prints, and everything were mentioned before. So that's interesting that what was mentioned in clothing prints, daisies, and butterflies is now being searched for in jewelry as well. Okay, another thing coming up is beaded jewelry. Camp jewelry started to rise last year and still going strong. Now, I've spoke about this. Do not try and whatever your jewelry is, you see camp jewelry is taking off, so you call your beautiful gold necklace camp jewelry. Find out what camp jewelry actually is and see if you fit into it. But they're saying this is colourful and fun. I'm going to have to search and find out what that is. Another one that's popping up is open work bags, crochet bags, knitted bags. Absolutely. I mentioned this about 2 years ago. We spoke about this. Now, single-use carrier bags, plastic bags are going the way of the dodo, as they should. Reusable bags. I remember as a kid, my mum had these kind of knitted string bags. I don't even know what they were, but they're like, well, they're string bags basically, but you can roll them up, stick them in a pocket, stick them in your handbag if you carry something like that. And then when you go shopping, you can put your shopping into them. Whether you want to wear them as their purse or they want to do a quick grocery shop. I don't want to wear them as my purse because then people can see purses, what you call handbag. In the UK we call purse what's your money in. But anyway, I don't want to use them as my handbag because then people will see all the junk that I've got in my handbag. But it's a sustainable and reusable bag. 33% increase in searches for crocheted bag. Yeah, so it's starting to creep up. And last year it was creeping up between July and December, so it's following a similar trend. So that might be a good one to watch out for. Y2k bags are increasing. Wow, massive search for Y2k bags. That's nearly 2,000% increase compared to the same time last year. Wow. Okay, so what is a Y2k bag? Thank you for that. One of the shapes that's been rising are baguette bags, a long tote or a classic hobo bag that kind of dips down. I've never heard the term baguette bag. It's as if two bags were shrunken down in half with a shorter strap. I'm wondering if they mean, is that just like the long sports bags that were around 20 years ago? But anyway, if you know what a baguette bag is, there you go. Okay, what about clothes? Sunny shades, absolutely. Cheerful patterns because we've had a difficult year. Hues that bring brightness, happiness and cheer into their wardrobes. A huge crossover for home and fashion, but yeah, the smiley faces, jewelry, daisy prints. I think, well, obviously this is Pride Month just now, but colourful rainbows. Okay, let's see what they say about the colouring. Check print, we mentioned that already. Yep. But checks, yeah, checks in pastels and neons. When I just think black and white, but no, neon checks, pastels, awesome. Allowing you to embrace the trend in what way works for your personal style. Seeing other retro patterns like mushroom print. So that's mushrooms again. There's still this cottage core, fairy core thing still big. And the mushroom print's also tied into the lesbian earring thing as well. Sunny sets, matching sets. That's cool. Yeah, vintage sellers are taking take advice for this. I'm wondering if matching sets, they mean like twin set, which was like a jumper, a sweater and a cardigan over the top. Yeah. The other thing returning from the 90s is the relaxed silhouettes. I have totally seen tons of those big baggy dungarees. What do you call them? Overalls in America, I think. Skinny jeans are making an exit and we're seeing relaxed denims. I think that is because everyone has put on a ton of weight and been in baggy clothes for a year. Yeah, I think it's thanks to our time spent at home. Everyone wants to ease back into real clothes. Yeah, so many of my friends are going like, I'm going to have to wear a bra again. Peekaboo details. Yeah, I really like that. And I've seen for those that don't know, there's a show in the UK, The Great British Sewing Bee. That's kind of fun to see different things. And there was some accents there, the peekaboo things, but they were like different. It wasn't just like a little cutout here or shoulders bare, but it was like really asymmetric as well. Oh, a vaccine-friendly clothing. That is very true. I was very careful when I was going for my vaccine, thinking about what to wear. Thankfully, I could just wear a spaghetti strap top because the sun was out. But this would work as well. They need to get into your deltoid muscle. I think I got jabbed about there. So yeah, that is such a cute, like, of the time idea for clothes is stick me here, doc. That is so cool. Um, Peekaboo details was something that this person wore when they were 15. I kind of I like my shoulders out. So I'm going to be fashionable again. It aligns with the functionality. Yes. Okay, let's get into the home decor. Lots of new things. That mid-century modern we totally talked about in the last video. The straight edges. I was gonna say the obvious thing, but yeah, what they're talking about is the kind of 50s design. But moving on from being totally straight edged, there's now some curved edges and wiggles and squiggles. You'll see it in mirrors and ceramics. Now, I don't think most of us follow the trends that much that we're going to totally redecorate our entire house. But if you're photographing your items, then it's good if you have enough room in your house to have a small corner. I've seen people do this that's just set up for their photography. So, say it's got a little table, a chair, a plant, a light, and a picture in it, and you put your items in that. Well, it's the time you can maybe update the pictures, swap the kind of coffee table or something for something that fits in with that style. You can have like 2 foot 2 foot of wallpaper or painted in a certain color and style just in that corner of your room to make your photography of the moment. Other influences are coming from the 70s, influences from nature, especially the mushroom lamp, a lamp in the shape of a mushroom. They are mentioning mushrooms a lot, a lot. Um, but taking inspiration from the organic shape. Yeah, so mushrooms and every bit of this. The wiggly squiggly lines, the curved lines, the mushroom lamps, influences from nature. Shoppers are wanting to infuse their home decor with items that align with their personality and personal style. I think that is a thing. Trends are there now, but I don't think there's so many people that totally like I don't know many people. I even like seeing teenagers going about the place. They don't have that following the fashion quite so much, but it's the cool stuff that get influenced in. I have certainly seen Facebook stalking me with those kind of dungaree overall type baggy things in bright fabrics. And what will happen is you start to see these again and again, a couple of your friends buy them, and eventually you might be getting these. So things take a little bit of time for people. They're not jumping on fashions like they used to. But little accessories, and it changes with time. Okay, paper and party supplies. Um, okay, shoppers are looking for greeting cards. Yep, if we're meeting up, we're not meeting up with everybody and we're not traveling quite so much. So yeah, greeting cards, birthday cards, and especially Etsy can be really cool because you can personalize a card and you can send it directly to the recipient. So that's, if you're doing that, make a feature of that. Paper goods sellers to bring back invitations but with outdoors. Yep, how can you incorporate outdoor themes into your designs? If you're making like digital downloads for people to make their invitations and stuff, yeah, styles, think go with the mushrooms, go with the fairy core, go with the mid-century modern type styles. Look into, this is the time. It's really easy to just use that as an idea for styles that you can start creating. Single use serving items. Yeah, I mean, fun paper plates and napkins. What can you actually make that are kind of cool? And backdrops. Yeah, everyone is excited to get it back outside. Oh, lightning round. I like lightning rounds. So it's questions from the forum. So yeah, keep an idea in the forums, places you can ask questions. So what color and themes are buyers interested in for summer? Etsy color of the year, as I mentioned. Sky blue continues to be a fan favorite, because it's Etsy's color of the year. Keep an eye out for these things. Etsy says it's going to be big. Etsy pushes it. It becomes big. Mushrooms, yep, and cottagecore. The mushrooms have stemmed from cottagecore, which was a previous trend, but I think it's still hanging on in there. I make paper notebook, staple, and wire bound. A lot of people are intimidated by blank journals. If guided journals are in, what's the hot topic? Gratitude journals. Yeah, I've seen a lot of this. Bullet journals, planners, all sorts of things. But yeah, gratitude journals. People like to look in and think about the things that they feel grateful for to keep a positive mindset. I used to think all this was kind of hippie nonsense, but it does help. So it's a good idea. You can do a guided journal to help show people how they can express themselves. Self-care, celestial themes like moon phases are popular, and personalized journals. Absolutely. Can you say something about the sort of vintage antiques and collectibles that sell on Etsy? Are the vintage trends worldwide or the same everywhere? So, vintage sellers, prick your ears up. So there are great influences from the 60s and 70s and the 90s and 2000s. Okay, this is good to know. The trend guide information that Etsy share with us is the global data so it's worldwide. So we don't know if something's like more popular in your country. So you can always check. And the tool eRank has been adding some more breakdowns of different countries. So it's worth checking. It's only a few countries that are added, but it's worth checking, because there could be a trend that's like absolutely huge in your country, but it doesn't look quite so big like worldwide, because if it's not massive in America, then it won't show up quite so much. But it gives you an idea. If it's huge in the UK and nobody else is really making the stuff, then you could really get in there. Several reasons for people liking vintage, one of a kind, unique pieces, and being a conscious shopper. So yeah, if you sell vintage stuff, really push that sustainable option. You're not creating more waste. And people are digging into vintage shopping. With weddings, yes, the Regency thing was big last year. People are looking for sort of old worldy things. I bet you the tea sets and stuff that were worth nothing 4 or 5 years ago, the vintage tea sets, I bet you they've seen an upsurge in what they're selling for now. I'd like to know what kind of blanket colors or prints people will love to buy this year. So Etsy saying, of course, sky blue. People are wanting to incorporate snippets of nature and positivity. So sky blue is a good example. Mulberry loom is checkered print blanket specifically. So there's been a huge increase in searches for checkered blankets. So yeah, that's a really easy way. Another thing, if you're decorating up a corner of your house, like it could be your guest bedroom where nobody's in there. If you have a spare room, it's easy to make it look more of the style with just sticking a blanket on trend in it. So a checkered blanket over the bed could just make it look a bit better. Natural dyes is popular. Turmeric, indigo, pomegranate, avocado seeds. So natural dyeing is popular. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And tie-dye is still big just now. Okay, COVID-related trends. There are totally still COVID-related trends. So personalized hand sanitizers, personalized masks. Absolutely. I was just thinking, if we're bringing the outdoor with the big outdoors thing, it would be cool to have like a little. A lot of walkers I know use like walking bum bags and things. Fanny packs to the Americans use walking bum bags. If you have bum bag, back bag, courier bag that has areas in it for your hand sanitizer and for your mask, little, you can even have like little bags that clip onto other bags and things just for your hand sanitizer and your mask, because we need to have them with us. And especially, I am really bad for this, I just go walking with the dog and I don't think to take anything else with me, because it would get in the way. Now, if I needed to go in somewhere, I don't have a mask with me. So ways to allow me to hands to easily ways to allow people who don't really have bags and stuff with them to just carry those things along. So yeah, that's just my 2p worth. It would be something cool. And DIY kits, baking kits, embroidery kits, paint by number kits, and things that kids can work in their little mud kitchen. Creativity is top of mind. Yeah, I think this is going to be for quite a while. People are still getting back to being crafty, want to do mindful things. What trends in digital items like clip art and digital paper? Yeah, people working from home still want to jazz up your background, and you're in the middle of spring cleaning and refreshing. I don't think she's actually answering the question for clip art and paper. That's more like wallpaper and things, unless I haven't seen it, but there could very well, like you see Canva templates, Pinterest templates. What about Zoom background templates? Then you don't have to tidy up your house behind you. Great idea for digital. Yeah. Okay, do printable digital art that can be easily printed at home. Greeting cards are great. Printable calendars and schedules. Yeah, children's birthday celebration trends. What are they? Seriously, creative Zoom backdrops. I did not read ahead. I'm just a genius. But for children's birthdays, balloon arches, pom-pom garlands, outside parties. Yeah. What's in for wall decorations? So sky blue, whimsical prints that are a nod to nature. Yeah. So not only are we going outside, there is the trend for bringing outside in, and poppy colors. Cool. I'm assuming that also if there's going to be trends for sunflowers and mushrooms, that will be trendy in that kind of thing as well. People want to make their home a happy, joyful place. Yes. Okay, last question is cool. Wants to know about trends with machine embroidery. Embroidery is having a moment right now. That I'm assuming it means a good moment. We've especially seen that in kits. Great opportunity for vintage sellers to shine because incredible embroidery kits from the past. That is interesting. And then how can you turn your embroidery into wall art, personalize it, put it on clothing? Yeah. So there we go. Lots of cool ideas. A lot of this I've gone more in depth into in my last video on the crafts to sell on Etsy. So if you want to see that, we have lots more pictures. It's lots more interesting. I dive deep into what they're talking about. Check out my last video on that. But anyway, guys, have a great day. I hope that helped give you some ideas of what you can make and sell and even change your decor. And I'll catch you in the next video.